My forecast is there's less than 50% chance that the United States will exist as a nation by the middle of this century, and that is actually good news. The previous century was shaped by nation states as the primary actors in international law. What is very clear, at least to me, is that the central actors, the central locus of power and economy and control as we move deeper into this century, is shifting from the nation state to the city-state. There are actual city-states like Singapore, but then there are places that we think of as parts of larger national entities, but are actually city-states. Silicon Valley, the Greater Bay Area, is a virtual city-state. Los Angeles is a different city-state. California, in some level, is independent. Let me give you an example. That we think of the nation as a unitary thing, but in fact, it's a bundle of competencies. Legal competency, economic competency, military competency, and we're breaking that bundle apart. And regions are getting more and more independent. So think about what happened in the last 12 months. The President of the United States says we've got to protect our borders. He says to the Republican governor of California, a member of his same party, please send your troops to the Mexican border, the National Guard, to protect California and the nation against people sneaking across. And what does the Republican governor say to the Republican president? No. Unthinkable. Can you imagine that in the Truman administration or the Eisenhower administration? And it is viewed popularly because and then a week later, the governor of California holds a press conference on the shore of San Francisco Bay with the a real head of state, Tony Blair from the United Kingdom, announcing a joint policy with California and the United Kingdom around global climate change in direct opposition to the explicit policies of the President of the United States. Yeah, well, this is good news. City-states are the center because they are large enough to have impact, but they're small enough that everybody who lives there sees the the collective consequences of individual action. Singapore works because it did a 180-degree turn over the last 50 years. It used to be an inefficient, corrupt place. Now it is exactly the opposite. It's a really successful, wealthy island in a really bad neighborhood. And all you have to do is look at the horizon from Singapore, and it's a reminder of why you want to focus on certain things. That's why their political system is as it is. It's absolutely a democracy. It's not a democracy that we would necessarily recognize. They say, we don't have time to mess around with this two-party stuff because we're trying to survive. And so there's an economic compact, a social compact between citizens in Singapore and the government. The citizens say, be honest, have absolutely no corruption, work for the public good, give us a good business environment, and focus on our families, and we won't waste our time doing a bunch of political competition. So far, it's kind of worked.